following up with the rent?
No, thank you.
Are you paying before the end of the month?
Wow.
Okay. Perfect. Okay, I'm just following up with the rent. Thank you. Hey, following up with the rent. Thank you. Following up with the rent. When are you gonna pay?
Well, if not this week, then next week.
When are you gonna pay?
Okay, just make sure to pay before the end of the month. Okay.
Looks like you didn't pay.
Hey, following up with the rent.
Thanks so much.
When are you thinking about paying?
Next week.
Next week? Okay. Thank you.
Just because it was a woman at the door. Oh, you all can't see the doormat. It's that same doormat every time. So it's the same house. It's that guy and his chick.
Following up with the rent.
It's a bit kind of hard.
Okay. Lawyers, and I approve this message because you are on their paycheck. You should get to keep more of it. As president, I'll make them my top priority.
Who they listening to?
Porque salió un video así.
They got time to keep old politics, but can't pay their rent. But see, had we been there eviction day, what do we always hear? Oh, I had no idea. This is the first time I'm hearing something. Look at how many notices and how many warnings and how many opportunities she asked them to pay that they received. But yet, and you know, if this is the route that they have to go, it's probably that way in a lot of different places. But yet, people are always so surprised when Judgment Day comes. And that's why when it happens and when we review it, it's very hard to believe them when they just act like they had no idea. Y'all, before we get into the next clip, if you could like the video, greatly appreciate it. Only takes a second. It actually does help out tremendously.
Huh? You want to be a property owner? Really? Come check this out. We just evicted these people. I kicked their punk asses out, man. Look what they did to my property.
Wow. Look what it says on the wall. I'm guessing his name is AJ. They put keep that ish. Wow. Wow.
Walls, doors. They tried to put floor in the paint, the walls.
You think that'll come up?
The floor? Yeah. I'm confused.
Look what these people did. That's okay. I'm going to sue their ass. I'm going to chase them around. If they ever come into some money, I'm going to get it, man. I'm coming after you. The people that did this to my property, that's why I kicked your punk asses out, man. Anybody else that does this shit too, I'm going to kick your punk ass out too.
I'm going to be honest, at this point, I don't understand how this ain't criminal. I'm going to just be honest. This is so egregious. There is no way you cannot make a case that this was intentional and this was malicious. And this did not need to be done. You didn't have to do all that. All that. It's one thing if there's holes in a wall or whatever, which is still bad, but you could make a case that could possibly happen, right? Just maybe you slip and fall and your head goes through the wall, right? But when you actually are putting people's names on there and painting murals, that's clearly egregious and that's clearly malicious.
So I'm evicting one of my tenants today who hasn't paid me rent in about 8 months. She terrorizes the tenant that lives downstairs. There's always sketchy people in and out of the apartment. I even offered her up to $5,000 to leave on her own free will, and she didn't take it. I'm gonna do a walk through the apartment. Not really sure what I'm gonna find.
Oh, fuck. Oh my god. Those clothes? You gotta be joking me, bro.
Look at the bathtub. It's fucking terrible. Oh, it fucking stinks.
Talk about fumbling the bag. Even when there's a case where you could get helped, possibly, they still fumble it. This dude said he offered this tenant $5,000 just to leave. If he offered $5,000, let's be honest, he probably would have been willing to pay 8. So I say this to say, you could have probably still got him to give you a reasonable amount of time to leave and still collected the thousands of dollars that you could have then used and possibly went to secure another place. And here's also why. Because if he's offering to let you leave out willingly, then he also wouldn't evict you. So that means you wouldn't get the eviction on your record and you would simply leave with a pocket full of cash. You can negotiate the timeline. You can say, give me 20 days. You left everything there anyway. This is why I don't. People, see, they hurt themselves in the attempt of trying to hurt somebody else. Ain't that something? And this is what people do. Just because he offered it, they just said, nah, I'm going to rebel against that. When it was actually in their best interest to do it. And if you were a little savvy, you could have, you could have got a little bit more money. Let's be honest. He'd have probably gave you $8,000. There's a reason he wants you out so fast. Maybe he's trying to sell the property. Maybe he has a good opportunity. Man, I tell you, in trying to hurt other people, people just hurt themselves. And now this tenant is going to have an eviction on their record that they're going to carry on with them moving forward. And they won't be able to find anywhere else to rent to them or anybody else.
Insecurity, which is my financial situation, and I previously haven't shared it on my platform, but I've hit the point of frustration and I just need to let it out. I have been on and off social assistance for the past 7 years. I'm 28, about to be 29. I first started off on OW, and then when I was in the youth shelter, I got placed onto ODSP because of my neurospicy diagnosis. I grew up in Toronto housing, and I always imagined that I would move out of housing and I would never have to use the system again. So to be here now, stuck in the system, is very frustrating. What has helped sustain me for the past 2 years has been getting booked for party promo. Unfortunately for me, nobody has booked me since last summer. The times I do post a flyer, that is just on a barter or fare free. It does sting a little bit when I see the individuals who get picked, but I tell myself there's no point in getting green-eyed. You just gotta keep pivoting. But that's the thing. I don't know what I'm pivoting to anymore. The spring and summer, I do social media management for one of the Toronto Carnival bands, but that's really it that's on my schedule. Just a small 5-month contract. I feel like I've hit a wall when it comes to the carnival scene in Toronto. When I first started, my goal was actually to work my way into the Toronto Carnival Committee. That is never gonna happen. Okay, I don't think they like me at all. That's okay. I am satisfied working as a social media manager for Sunlime. I love that team. I enjoy where I'm at. But I think if I wanted to expand in the carnival space, it would have to be outside of Toronto. But the thing is, I don't got the funds to leave my motherfucking house. I have been an auto body apprentice. I have experience working with collision vehicles, painting vehicles, welding, MIG, TIG, ARC. I went to Centennial College for software engineering, got a diploma, worked as a software engineer at internship for 4 months. Nothing has come from that. Done social media management, tried to freelance outside of the current contract that I haven't gotten anything. Tried to do UGC, doesn't get me anywhere. The only thing I have been consistently able to be good at for the past 3 years is running my mouth online. The same thing that's always gotten me in trouble, that has.
You know, she has a lot of potential here. She has a lot of potential here based off of some of the things she's already set herself up in. Sounds like doesn't have any kids, no self-inflicted wounds. But here's what I'll say. Because the title of the video is My Biggest Insecurity, Being Broke. One thing I will never recommend anybody to do is to come on social media trying to be transparent and spilling your biggest insecurity. That's going to make it worse. Oh, that's going to make it worse. If you got a big nose and that's your biggest insecurity, do not go on TikTok and let everybody know that your biggest insecurity is your big nose, because they are going to tear you up in the comment section. Now, getting serious for a second, because you mentioned that right now, one way it sounds like she's on assistance, social assistance, the Canadian kind. So we're expanding our horizons, but she's only been able to do party promo and this type of stuff, really just very worldly things. But then come to find out, she has a software engineering degree. I'm glad she didn't say development, because software development is dying with AI. I think with engineering, you can still do some things. And she did the internship. It's just the hardest thing is just getting that experience initially, is what it seems like. And it sounds like she kind of got off track and veered off course and started just doing worldly things where she should have just kind of stayed down. And this is the initiative part when it comes to the job search, right? As well as the marketing yourself part. Because with a degree like that, you would want to still be continuing to grow your skill set in it. You can't just try to focus on the degree. What a lot of people try to do is they try to get the degree to do all the work. No, that is an advantage, but an advantage is only as good as the mentality of the person wielding the advantage. Here's an example. You can run across people all the time who are athletic or whatever, but when you play the sport, it matters about your mentality the most. If you can't use it, it doesn't matter. Look at what happened with Anthony Joshua and Andy Ruiz. If you don't know who that is, Anthony Joshua, let me see. This is Anthony Joshua, and this is Andy Ruiz. Now, clearly, if you were a betting person and you see both of these people's body types, you would say Anthony Joshua has the advantage. But that's not what transpired when they fought. Andy Ruiz knocked Anthony Joshua out. So I say this to say, the point that I'm making is, yes, you have these things on your tool belt, but you still have to use the tools, right? Listen, if you're if you're in the military, you have a perfectly good rifle. But if you freeze up, then it really doesn't matter. So she needs to find the best way to position and market herself off her very marketable skills. And she can't just let that try to do all the work. She's got to get savvy. She's got to take initiative. And ultimately, she's got to continue to develop her skill set and not just give up. But you can still do other things outside of that. It's just about being consistent. An hour a day professional development, as well as continuing to apply. Don't stop applying. Man, I see people today, they send out 10 applications to the exact companies they want. Microsoft, send out to Google, Nvidia, and then they don't get the response that they want, and then they just give up. No, you have to keep going. And most likely that first place where you ultimately end up, you may have to work somewhere that you may not want to, just to be able to get it on your resume and get some time there. and for that to position you to eventually go to that next place that you actually want to go. It's all strategy.
I made 10 DoorDashes in the last 2 hours. And guess how much I made? Guess. After gas, I made a whopping $24.76. Not even a full $25. Like, I can't even get my own food DoorDashed for $25. Okay? When I moved to Cali from Texas last year, I really thought that I was going to be living my California dream. I got my full-time job. I got health insurance, benefits, all of that stuff, all of the things that I thought that I needed to live a comfortable life. And it just feels like I can never make ends meet. Like, I'm literally clocking into my 5 to 9 after my 9 to 5. Hold on, girl. I got to order. And I'm just so frustrated because I feel like I've done everything right. Like, I went to school, I got my degree, I got a job, but like with rent and bills and student loans and groceries and gas, like it just feels like I just cannot get ahead. And it's like these billionaires who have never had to lug 5 Big Mac meals with drinks up 3 flights of stairs. It feels like they are making money hand over fist. Something has got to give, and I feel like it needs to be them because I am tired. All right, the billionaires need to start opening their pocketbooks because I can't afford to keep on opening mine.
I'm laughing because she's very close. She's very close. Here's what I mean. Listen, she said she did 10 orders and only made $24. Do you know how much driving around and wear and tear on your car, as well as just effort that was? Then she got to go and try to locate you and all this type of stuff. Let me tell you something. There's going to be that customer because she's almost at that point. She's going to get in front of that customer and they're not going to tip. It's probably going to be the 20th customer and they're not going to tip and she is going to snap. And we might see her on the news. I'm just playing. But yeah, she's going to snap on somebody. And in my opinion, she needs to just try to find a job. I think she had mentioned that she had a job and that's why she moved to California. And now she's stuck door dashing. But she needs to get back to it. Especially when you mentioned that you got a college degree. And you got, because she said student loan debt. I did hear that. I know I heard that. So you need to get a real job so that you can address that debt, as well as try to make it in California. You don't need to be DoorDash. You need to get a job that pays a livable wage based on California, right? Because yeah, this gig type work, that's not going to work in a place like California. You need to get a job that's already adjusted to the cost of living for that state is what you need to do. So do whatever you got to do to find it. There's a lot of job opportunities down there, or just move back wherever you came from. But we'll leave it there for today. If you could like the video, I greatly appreciate it. Only takes a second and it actually does help out tremendously. Also, if you could hype the video, hype is a new feature that YouTube offers where it helps smaller content creators like myself. And basically when you hype, it actually pushes us to the extent that it pushes the larger content creators. So if you could do that, I greatly appreciate it as well. And Patreon's link below if you want to see self-improvement content. But until then, I'll catch you in the next video.